former X Division champion and number 22 on PWP's Top 25 of 2022, Mike Bailey here, and you are listening to Pro Wrestling Proverbs with Logan and Anthony.
We saw the return of The Undertaker. We saw John Cena wrestle in an NXT ring. We saw Saraya lose the Women's Championship, FTR lose the Tag Championships, and Edge fighting the oldest member on the AEW roster, an actual dinosaur. But these were not the biggest headlines of this recording last week. No. The biggest headlines in the wrestling world came from a Mr. Tony Khan's Twitter. He's always been. I mean, he's a good guy. He's a great guy. I mean, I can't say he's a bad guy, but he's always been. Would unhinged be the right word?
Fanatical.
Yeah. There we go. That's a nice. Yeah. Based on his tweets, kind of his facial reactions when they do the media scrums. I forget his exact quote, but when he said he wasn't going to take any more shit, I forget what that was about, but I know it happened.
Yeah.
But this week on Twitter, Tony Khan acted like a billionaire, as Chris Jericho said. He's just going to let him do it. I think, before we even get into it, that Triple H smiled the whole time this happened. Because I would think the pressure got to Khan a little bit, just between fan reaction, the show, everything balled into one.
Yeah.
And I know it happens to Triple H too, but he'll respond to the fans in a cheeky way, like he did with Dom the other day, where he told Dom, "Wow, they really are booing you. I thought they were just piping it in." They do little things like that. Tony Khan had, for being a very rich man, the son of a very rich man, his father owning football teams, and then him doing AEW, I don't think it's, like, fire-worthy, as some people say, but it did catch me off guard, some of his reactions. So,
Do you want to go through them for those of us that don't have the X account?
It's not tweets. Sorry, exit postings.
Yeah,
So as I hinted, there was a Tuesday night fight. NXT and AEW Dynamite. It's huge title Tuesday. Both shows announced they would have, commercial free. AEW then did the Eddie Kingston versus Minoru Suzuki in the buy-in portion of the show.
Yeah.
And a double title match. Like I said, this all technically started because Edge's debut for AEW, the match itself, was announced. And then then it was announced Cena was going to be on NXT and Heyman was going to be on NXT. Cody was going to make an announcement. Then they put the video out with the gong for The Undertaker.
With the dong. Yeah, this dong just out there.
Like I said, Saraya had a match, and they kept going back and forth. But on Twitter, he announced the buy-in. And, as he does, he tweets about everything regarding AEW. So the first 30 minutes of Title Tuesday, hashtag AEW Dynamite, will be commercial free on TBS Network tomorrow night. Remember, AEW Dynamite is in a special time slot tomorrow, 1 week only. Tuesday, hashtag AEW Dynamite, Title Tuesday on TBS. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., first 30 minutes commercial free. and he responded to that tweet himself with a GIF that said, "Okay, you want to be a dick." I'm assuming that was a shot at NXT for all their announcements. And then someone with the Twitter handle One Mellow Soul, SOL, did a Seth Rollins picture that said, "We not watching, bucko." Tony Khan replied, "Okay, we won't see you tomorrow night for Title Tuesday, #AEW Dynamite then." And a gif of Roderick Strong spinning, saying, "Who gives a fuck?"
That's awesome.
Someone by the Twitter handle Augustin Arcas 98 said, "If Sir Vince McMahon said this, there'd be many failed AEW fans crying nonstop and furious. 3 crying faces and #hypocrites." Tony Khan responded, which we retweeted or reposted.
Yeah.
"If Sir Vince McMahon said this, it would be the least of his alleged misdeeds. AEW Title Tuesday on TBS Tuesday, #AEW Dynamite tonight." You know, he posted more about it. There's a lot more posting than I remember him doing. And then it was being reported that Triple H and Shawn Michaels were trying to send Tony Khan a message. And what I remember reading is the message was supposed to be, you know, you're trying to beat the 3rd show, but we're going to beat you with our 3rd show. And, you know, and Tony Khan responded, "I have a message for them. See you tonight at a special Tuesday night, #AEW Dynamite. Title Fight Tuesday at 8 p.m. on TBS Network. At least the first 30 minutes are commercial free, plus a big overrun, #tonight, and a picture that says bald asshole spray painted on a door."
I don't know like where that's from. I know that's from Breaking Bad, but that's not what that says in Breaking Bad. So somebody like altered the picture from the show. I don't know if it was him or if it's like a meme.
I don't know.
That's not hold on.
We also have Swerve and Danielson on the same AEW. Jericho and Will Hobbs. You know, Tony Storm. Like both shows are loaded. And that's the thing I hate is I don't think you could really talk bad about either show, but WWE fans found a way to hate on AEW because, oh, it didn't get the amount of viewers, it didn't get this, it didn't get that.
That's not from Breaking Bad.
What's it from?
It's from Curb Your Enthusiasm. It looks exactly the same. Like, I just look at the tweet hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, both scenes use yellow spray paint. Apparently, it's from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Larry refuses to give candy to uncostumed teenagers on Halloween.
That's funny.
So they spray paint bald asshole on his door.
But yeah, WWE fans hated on AEW for that. And then AEW fans hated on WWE for NXT because, oh, you had to call in all these big names. You know, you're telling me that your NXT roster couldn't compare with the AEW roster? If AEW fans are being serious in that, then they're fucking dumb because they know that the AEW roster is head and shoulders above NXT because, surprise, everyone, it's developmental. The other thing is... And I questioned this a few podcasts ago. I guess it's cool to hate on the Undertaker now.
Yeah, of course.
And not like political. Like I understand if you don't like him politically. I'm not gonna say to what, but he did make a very hefty donation to a certain orange.
What?
I don't agree with it. But
the annoying orange. Remember that from?
Yeah.
Did that?
But he's from Texas. You know, he's an old guy. He's clearly a conservative. I mean, it makes sense with his political spectrum, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are like hating on his in-ring work, saying his WrestleMania matches weren't good until like 24. He should never have been heavyweight champ. Like things like that, which I find crazy.
It's a little
people were. people were shitting on him for being on NXT, burying Braun Breaker. And what happened was, Braun had Paul Heyman in his corner, and oh my god, I always forget his name.
John Cena?
Ooh, no, who'd John Cena manage?
Oh. Is it Carmelo Hayes?
God. Yeah, Mello, yep. But he had just finished with Mello, and he got on the mic and he said he's the biggest badass in the WWE. And of course, there's got the American Badass to come out. Booker T was loving it. If you've seen the video, Taker parks his bike in front of the announce desk. Booker's laughing. He's having a great time. Taker gets in the ring. Braun Breaker calls him, old man. Taker. So my first problem with this is they're saying the whole time that Braun Breaker got buried, right? He's this young, strong guy, and he's having this old man take him out. First, Taker gets a cheap shot on him because he holds the microphone up and distracts Braun with it. So it's not like Taker outpowered him, he outsmarted him, which fits because he's the old dog, Braun Breaker's the young kid, he's the meathead. And then once Braun, gets punched, Taker then choke slams him. Again, doesn't overpower him for anything. Braun's stumbling around. And then Taker ends up calling him, essentially young blood, and said that there's always going to be an older, meaner dog, and you just met the meanest of them all.
Yeah.
But the whole time, Braun Breaker's trying to sit up, so it's not like the choke slam fully knocked him out. So he got to have a moment with not only Cena and Heyman, but Taker. He took a choke slam from Taker and wasn't knocked out. He wasn't ever overpowered. He wasn't buried. It was a rub. It's Undertaker dust. It's John Cena dust. It's everything. Plus, I think this leads into they're talking about doing War Games and having him be with Roman and Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
This fits because A, Paul was with him there. B, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman hate the Undertaker, so kind of all ties together. But anyway, it's a divert. People are just dumb. But the reason I brought that up, like I said, AEW fan, NXT had to have John Cena and Undertaker. They're so washed. Blah. Ooh, is that all they can do? It's just crazy to me that they always find something to just argue with. The fans, anyway.
Yeah.
But both shows did well. NXT won. And after that...
But, they say, NXT won, quote unquote. Yeah, they did. But look who they had. Okay, they had John Cena, The Undertaker, Cody Rhodes, Asuka, all this other stuff. And they only won, in the demo by, 0.2 points. Something, crazy like that. So they took out, all these legends. They brought The Undertaker out of his retirement home to come over here. Mm-hmm. And they won in the 18 to 45 demo by, 0.2 points. Which is nothing. So, who really won? And this wasn't even that good of an AEW show. The only thing selling it was Edge's first match in AEW. Was not wrestling fans haven't seen him wrestle in a long time. He just wrestled a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's not something that people are clamoring for. If they put out, I think if AEW actually put on a halfway decent show. I'm not saying they win the overall rating. They're not gonna beat NXT
I
and
think
break 1 million or something like that. But they'll win the demo.
I think that's where my criticism with AEW for that week lies, is with the amount of tweeting Tony did and the amount of how he's this is going to be a great show, this is Title Tuesday. And like you said, it's kind of just a normal card.
Yeah.
I think the way he hyped it up, it reminded me of when he's the Forbidden Door, everybody. And then it was Jay White in a parking lot segment. Yeah, he hyped it up big, and like I said, Jericho and Will Hobbs, Bryan Danielson and Swerve, Sheeta and Saraya. It was a good show.
Yeah.
Just the way he hyped it, like, he should have been... If he wanted to snuff NXT out like he acted, he should have tickled balls. As soon as he heard Taker was going to be there, he should have had Sting in a match. As soon as he heard they were going to have, you know, Cena and Heyman, top it with something bigger. I mean, you've got the pocketbook. I mean, you brought Ricky Steamboat out the one time. Bring out Ric Flair. Have him doing the last match right there. Title Tuesday. Ric Flair versus EC3. NWA title. But, as I was saying, though, he, when was his birthday? Was his birthday on Title Tuesday or the day after?
It was that day.
Okay. So, there was a tweet. See if I can get to the top of it. Jesus. Alright. Okay. Alright. So, I guess Hook did a funny little thing. Offered Tony Khan chips. Not Tony Schiavone. I didn't watch. I don't know. And Taz reposted it and said, best part was Hook never offered Schiavone. Someone said, if I had a book, I'd be doing like this. I'd book Hook to respect me and think of me as a friend. And Tony Khan quote tweeted that and said, as you know, Don Taz, there are levels in the game. So that was a funny one.
I like
and
that.
then Tony Khan thanked all who watched AEW Dynamite. I thought last night was one of our best shows that we've ever done. The fans in Kansas City were tremendous. The wrestling was great, and last night was the best birthday that I ever had. Thanks to all of you. And someone with the handle the Weed Minator replied, we were watching NXT, big dog. And Tony Khan replied, then I wasn't talking to you, and you don't even follow me, so I reply. And then did the Roderick Strong gif again. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
Let's see. He did that. And then
That's hilarious.
And then the Twitter, so do TW, said the review bombing of NXT is insane. 10 out of 10, great show by bots. And someone tweeted or posted, oh goodness, there's more to that. I didn't even know that. Ooh, I'm discovering. So someone said the mid/negative reviews are interesting. Some of these 10 out of 10s are just listing off the main event stars who showed up bizarre. And Tony Khan responded to this. And then on Title Tuesday Dynamite reviews, amidst scores 1s and 3s, two totally unique users, parentheses, who are definitely not both the same person, used the very common expression, shows how bad he is at being a normal person, on the same day reviewing the same show. Someone responded to that with a picture of Shawn Michaels smoking a cigar, holding a plaque that says Booker of the Year.
Oh, one of
Tony
those
Khan.
AI generated ones? Yeah.
Yeah. Tony Khan responded to that. Actually, I'm pretty sure that last night blew whatever chance he had at winning that award.
I like that.
Yeah, so Tony, he's not taking shit. Let's see. We keep going. Tony then... where's the part? He posted about his mother being in the hospital.
Yeah.
My mom fell and had to go to the ER. It was a great distraction, an awful day. Thanks, TK. And this was from @L is Beast, but the B is a 1 and a 3. And Tony Khan said, I'm sorry to hear that. 1 year ago, my mom was in the hospital and she suffered multiple strokes and needed a risky operation. Her recovery in the past year is the greatest miracle. I'm beyond grateful for it. Thank you for your kind words. I hope that your mother is okay. And a lot of people were being nice to him about it. And I even noticed, before he tweeted about it, that there was some shitty people out there, like, giving him shit about his mom. Like, essentially being like, oh, it's a shame she lived and I'd watch AEW. Like, shit like that. And and you know it's WWE just stands. I just can't stand it. And, but then also as that was happening, people would be, he would tweet and they'd be like, enjoy this ratio. And he would respond, I will enjoy this ratio. Thank you. Then we get to another tweet. Talking about the peak viewership segment of each program for NXT Dynamite. People were talking, and then someone said the difference is Vince has the power and influence to take cheap shots. He's earned the right to make them. Tony Khan is Vince if you order him from Temu. You can't shop like a billionaire, but you'll get the cheapest tat doing so.
What?
And Tony Khan responded, yes, Vince has allegedly used his power and influence to shoot a lot of shots. Brian Alvarez tweeted the viewership. NXT 1.4 million, AEW 650,000, and someone tweeted at Tony Khan saying, Tony Khan, this is not a war. And Tony Khan, I must have missed it when Brian tweeted that. Then the one that I just thought was really off the cuff. 6 days ago, Tony Khan, this week, 2 active decades-long rating streaks from 2 great legends were ended. With all due respect, until this week's head-to-head AEW on TBS versus WWE on USA, neither John Cena nor Undertaker had ever been on a WWE show with under 1 million total viewers and under 400,000 in the demo.
Then someone pointed out that John Cena was on NXT back in like 2014 or something like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Someone else did that same joke, but back at Tony Khan about Edge, and it made me fucking laugh. Like, about the amount of viewers in a main event, and how anytime Edge is main evented, it's usually at a big show. But there's more, of course. Tony Khan, this weekend marks 1 year since Mayo Clinic saved my mom's life. During her ordeal, many AEW talent came to me alleging WWE tampering, inducing them to break their contracts. I'll never forget these phone calls at her side in the hospital. It's when business became personal for me. So, a lot of people on Twitter put 2 and 2 together, and although Regal said he left because of his son and, Triple H getting power, a lot of people think Regal might have been that. I'm assuming FTR for it being around this time.
I know who it was. It was William Regal.
Yep.
And God, there's one other person. I want to say Jericho, but I don't know. Let me check.
That makes sense.
It came out.
Tony Khan.
But I know for
also
sure.
Said this...
I don't know. He went on the I got it right here. Oh, Swerve Strickland.
Oh.
Yep.
But he said, this is nothing new. I mentioned it last year after she came home. It's relevant today because she checked in for surgery 1 year ago today. As I've mentioned several times since, Mayo Clinic are heroes, and thanks to them, her recovery from a very grim outlook has been made a miracle. And people, again, were assholes. But then it's great because in deleted tweets, he responded to someone and said, my mom is stronger than you'll ever be. Which I just
depending on who he's talking to, his mom probably is. Probably some fucking twerp in the basement. What was that?
And then someone else said something. So he said, you insulted my mom. Take this ratio personally. I think that's all the unhinged Tony we've got. But since then, it's been reported that both AEW and WWE personnel questioned Tony Khan having a Twitter. It was said that some AEW individuals did want, like, to tell him, hey, put Twitter down. As I mentioned at the beginning, Chris Jericho said he's worked for billionaires for 25 years, so he's just going to let them keep being billionaires. That's just a little, it's a little crazy. I mean, I don't know if Tony Khan treated this as a real rivalry until this point. Like, he knew they were there, he knew they were competition.
Yeah.
But, some people just don't, like, I don't think TNA, after the Hulk Hogan time period, has viewed WWE as, like, a rival. They know that they're the big dog, they're the little dog, so they kind of just let them do their thing. But something in this, I don't know if it's because it was around Tony Khan's birthday, the anniversary of his mother, all these fans responding to his tweeting. Something happened, right?
Yeah.
Maybe CM Punk, all that stress finally got to him. That was the other one. Apparently CM Punk's camp was really happy they got away from AEW after seeing these tweets.
Really?
Which I mean, sure, they're out there, but it's not like he's like, I've got a gun. Like,
I guess Tony Khan was doing a radio interview too, like last week, and somebody like straight up asked him, like, "Did you really feel fear for your life?" And I guess he was like, "I was scared for a little bit there." Jeez Louise.
But yeah, it's definitely been it's been a year for Tony Khan for tweets, comments, facial reactions. Like I said, I guess I can't even say he's a great or good guy. I don't know him, so I'll just say he's a guy.
He's there.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't think Triple H would do anything like this, but I'm not gonna go as far and be like, oh, he wouldn't. He wouldn't tweet anything.
Well, Triple H is also like, essentially, he's an old man, right? He probably doesn't even work his own Twitter. Like,
that's true.
Like, I know a lot of these guys, even like the younger wrestlers. I know, like, it came out that Becky Lynch has one. They don't even like do their own social media anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's obvious which ones do and which ones don't. Like, I think obviously Sami Zayn, I think, runs his own. Kevin Owens, I think, does. Like, but
I was just gonna say I don't think he'd even tweet it at all. I think he'd go out to the ring and be you marks out there think that NXT isn't elite. Well, you're damn right we're not elite. We're better than elite.
I'm gonna go buy that pissant company. Fire Billy Gunn. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I'm curious to see what happens now. I kind of like this Tony Khan. Because for a while, I thought he was kind of ballless for how he handled all the Punk stuff.
Yeah.
Now that I see this fire, it reminds me of like Eric Bischoff in WCW when he challenged Vince to a fight, or fucking Herb Abrams when he's on coke. I mean, Tony Khan's gonna scrap.
I wouldn't mind seeing more of the side of Tony Khan. I like conflict. I like drama.
Yeah.
So if you just goes on Twitter and just calls somebody like a motherfucker, like, I'm all for it. Like, yeah, let's go. That's right.
So now here's my question.
Okay.
Do you think this ever leads to an on-screen character?
For him?
Yeah.
I don't. They've been pretty good so far, not doing anything. I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. If I had to like bet money on it, probably not. Like,
there's a little hesitation there.
There is, because he's ever been something like from between now and like essentially like 50 years? Like, how long is he gonna be in charge of AEW?
Right.
Like, that's a long time. Like, anything could happen. So I guess I could bet yes that he would, but like if we're talking about like an immediate like year or two, I'd hedge no.
I want him to be like
he doesn't have like the personality or the charisma or the skill to be a on-screen talent. Like he didn't
no.
grow up around the business like Vince did. Like Vince grew up with like some of the best to like ever do it, right? And obviously he learned stuff along the way from them. Like Tony Khan's been in the wrestling business since like 2019, like 4 years. And, like, I don't think, and he's too busy. He's running an NFL team and a soccer team to like, hey, I need to go to like a promo class with Dustin Rhodes. Yeah, don't think that's happening.
No. Plus, I don't want him to do anything because then it would give other marks the thought that they could just go be on TV. I mean, like I said, he's a guy, but he is definitely a mark. And he looks like one section of marks to me. Like you either got your really fat, sweaty neck beards, or you've got your skinny little pricks. And
which one are we?
I don't think we're either. I don't think we're full-on marks. I mean, now if we get in arguments with people on Twitter for wrestling, 9 times out of 10, it's a meme for us.
Yeah. It's like did you see the guy that tweeted at Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, about his ugly wife?
Yeah. Did you like that I tweeted that? Breaking news. This guy's wife is ugly. What?
Why did you take a picture with the beautiful girl and not my wife?
No,
she
buddy.
thinks she's ugly. Well, yeah, because you called her ugly. You know, she probably didn't think anything of it. She was like, dang it, I didn't get to meet Cody. And he's like, yeah, he only went up to the pretty girls. What do you mean? Well, didn't you see? He was hugging that one with the big old jugs there, and not you.
Not you. You know what it probably was?
What?
Like, she probably said something. Like, she was probably pissed off and went home like, you see Cody Rhodes, he only hugged that hot chick, not me. You believe that? And then he's like, oh, I'm gonna stick up for you, babe. Don't worry. I'm gonna tweet at him right now. Fucking dumbass.
I'm gonna shatter his dreams.
Sure did.
But so you don't think Tony Khan will be a character? Do you think we'll continue to see this edge of Tony Khan, or do you think someone will talk him out of tweeting so much? Like, do you think a Kenny Omega or a Jim Ross or a Tony Schiavone could talk him out of it, or his dad even?
No. He's gonna do what he wants.
Like, yeah, he probably has a burner phone.
When he's all alone on his private jet or his yacht that we just looked up before the show.
Yep.
Laying in bed. I'm not gonna accuse him of doing anything extracurricular. Maybe he might be feeling himself.
I was thinking maybe he was powdering his nose.
I was not gonna say anything like that. But when he's all alone in bed and he's got his phone and he's doom scrolling Twitter, seeing all these clowns like yapping him up, he's gonna say something.
Yep.
He's gonna say something.
So one final question. Is he ever... Do you think there's a chance he ever says anything that could actually get him in trouble? Like, I don't know if he'd say anything
like what
racist.
do you mean trouble?
But,
like fired from
like,
AEW? Like he has to be removed?
Not,
or like
I don't think he could ever be
fired.
fired.
Like canceled?
I'm thinking canceled, yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't think he'll ever get on there and say, shut up, fatty?
Well, that wouldn't get canceled.
I mean, people are getting soft.
Like, I think the closest thing we ever got to, like, him getting canceled probably was recently with the him like kind of sticking up for the Juice Robinson like promo on Wednesday.
Oh yeah,
like right after the like Palestine attack or
yeah.
Hamas attack or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say that no matter what happens, this will be something that he always has on Vince McMahon and Triple H. Is he runs a creative Twitter/X? Because I know the only Vince McMahon tweets that I even remember, the one where he wished Triple H a big happy birthday. Oh, John Cena a big happy birthday, but for Shane McMahon, he's like happy birthday. And then the one where he retired. I'm 77 years old. Time to retire. Thank you. Those are the only two Vince tweets I know. So, Tony, keep up the good work. Don't always watch your product, but I will always watch your ex.
I like that.